Yep. Good evening, everyone. So, yesterday I explained about how to create a React application by using a npx command. So, actually, what npx is using? What npx is using? Any idea? Huh? I'm asking what it is using. What it is using? That means which bundler it is using. Bundler. Which bundler it is using? It is using bundler called what? Webpack. I told you, right? NPX uses which one? Webpack. Actually, without NPX, you have other options also. Other options means we can use white or we can use parcel like other options. For them, commands are different. At the end, I will show you how these commands will vary. Actually, you are using NPX means you are creating a React application by using what? Webpack. Webpack is what? Bundler. It is a bundler. What is the purpose of bundler? Yeah. What is the purpose of bundler? So bundler is responsible for creating an application with end-to-end configuration. Bundlers are tools which are used to design an application with end-to-end configuration. What is meant by end-to-end configuration? What is meant by end-to-end configuration means from designing to deploying. Designing to deploying whatever required, we can handle that, right? So I will give you some questions here related to this. So the first important questions related to this topic is actually, so how we can manage this? Let's see. Yeah. Second. These are having issues. Our online people are, 1 second, please wait here. I will check. Okay, let's continue. Right. So let me give you some important FAQs here related to what we learned yesterday. So some important question. First is, what is a bundler? So the first basic question, what is a bundler? So what is a bundler? So it is a software tool used to configure an end-to-end application. Configure an end-to-end application. So here question is, what is end-to-end configuration? End-to-end configuration is nothing but, so it is the process of configuring application for some basic things like design, so build, so debug, test, and deploy. Configuring application for design, build, debug, test, and deploy. So what is design? What is design? You are creating the application. That means you are mentioning where resources, images are present, where CSS is present, where scripts are present. All this is design. What is build? What is build? What is build? In general software technologies, what is the meaning of build? What is the meaning of build? Anyone? Build is the process of compiling. It is the process of compiling and identifying the errors in compiling. That means build is the process of compiling the entire logic and identifying the errors in compiling and reporting those errors. Actually, you can build for design, for development, you can build for production. There are two types of builds. You can build for development, you can build for production. So what is production build means? It is ready for deploying. Ready for deploying means it is ready for going live. That means there will be two types of builds. So one is build for design and build for deploy. So debugging is finding the bugs, fixing them. For that, we use some additional tools. Testing is verifying whether the requirements are matching or not. So what is the concept of testing? Testing is nothing but, testing means it verifies whether the developer written logic is same what the client expecting. So if it is matching, then test pass, otherwise fail. Deploying means pushing it live, finally it going as live, right? For this, you need a lot of configurations. All those configurations we define in a bundler. So what is bundler and what is end-to-end configuration? Another one, name various bundlers, right? Name some bundling tools. So you can name some bundling tools, like we have Webpack and we have like White. So we have like Parcel. All these are bundling tools. Another important is what is NPX? So just what I given you here. Yesterday we used NPX actually. NPX is nothing but, so it is used to create a React application. So using Webpack as bundler. So it is used to create a React application. Actually, this is Node package. So Node package extensions are defined by using NPX. So generally it is used for creating a React application using Webpack. You can build a React application using Webpack by using this mechanism. So yesterday I showed you how to create an application. So have you tried that? Right? Able to create the application successfully, right? And we learned creating application and we learned how to run application. I hope you are clear with that. So if any doubts are there at the end of the session, I will take, right? So if any issues are there in creating or some problems, I will check them. Okay, right. So after understanding the React application, means how to create React application, today we will see how this React application works, right? We discussed about the infrastructure. Infrastructure means what folders and files it contains after creating project. Today I will show you. So React application. So React application high level flow. React application high level flow. The React application high level flow. Remember, outline first we will see, then we will go in depth about how it actually works. High level flow means how your React application starts. So what is the concept behind this, right? What happens behind? Let's see. For that, I need to explain you a simple architecture here. To understand the React application flow. So usually, suppose we are having, this is technically we have a web server. Actually, we are having a web server. Generally, we call web server, or usually people also call it as HTTP server. We call as HTTP server. Now, generally, every web application requires this server. What happens is, so client makes a request. Client will make a request. Client is the user. So this we can call as client. Client makes a request. When request is made by client, this request will come to web server. Usually web server is having a HTTP processing pipeline. HTTP processing pipeline. Every web server internally have a HTTP processing pipeline. That is the location. That is the location where all the processing works, right? That is the location I will just give here. Yeah. HTTP processing pipeline. That is the location where all the process works. Processing pipeline. That is the location where all the processing actually happen. Now, in this web server, in this processing pipeline, usually you will have a HTTP handler. HTTP handler. This HTTP handler is responsible for managing request and response. The request and response is managed by this handler. In any web application, this is the process. Whether you may be using a Java or a .NET or a PHP or a Python, any kind of web integrated application works in the same way. That means the request comes to web server. Web server internally have a processing pipeline. In that processing pipeline, it will have a handler. This handler is responsible for identifying what the request is. That means handler identifies, is it get request, is it post request, is it put request, like that. And after that, what happens is, generally, you will have your React application. Usually, you will have a React application like this. This is our React application. Yesterday, we created a React application. Inside it, how it works, I will show you another. This is high-level design. I'm explaining a high-level design. That means outline flow I am explaining first. What is the name of React application given yesterday? We given as React what? Shopping. That is the application. Actually, in this application, it can have a lot of components. Every React Angular application is built with components. It is built with component, like you have a home component, you have a login component, you have a register component, like you have a customer component, you have a admin component, like that. You have a shop component. So you have a cart component, like that. So many components depending on application. Even you will have header, footers, you will have navigation bars, everything. Everything is considered as a component. I will show you a real-time React application. Real-time React application is nothing but simply like Amazon. Amazon is designed in React. Entire Amazon is designed in React. The front end of Amazon is in React. Amazon, Netflix, Instagram, Facebook, these are all designed using React.js. They're all the products of React.js. And important, you see when you open this, everything is a component. You open this one. That means actually you can say that this top is a header component that is considered as a header component. It is an header. And in the header, you see there is another component. This is a search component. And you see there is another one. This is what? Navigation component. Navigation component. And you see, I hope you can tell the name of this banner. This banner is called as what? Carousel. It's a carousel component. I hope you can tell the name of these boxes. They are called cards. These are all components. That means application is built with components. So that is why we call React as a component based. React, Angular, all these are component based. So how to create such components you are going to learn. You are going to see. So what is the advantage of this is you can reuse the components. You can reuse the components, you can customize and implement, extend according to your requirement. It is very easy. For example, you learned HTML. So once you learned HTML, I will just ask you a question on HTML. So the question on HTML is, you learned HTML and others. Suppose in a HTML page, what you done is you designed in this page, you designed a simple login screen. You created a login screen. So you created a simple login screen in this page. I want the same login screen in another page also. Then how do you do that? With your HTML knowledge, tell me what you will do. I hope you understood the question. In a page, I have a login. Same login I want somewhere else because user can log in from different places. User can log in or register from different places. So will you copy and paste that login code in every page? That's not great idea. That is not great idea. So what is the professional concept? You create a component by name login. And you can inject that component in any page anywhere you want. For that, you have to learn about web components in JavaScript, which is a very rare thing people usually learn in JavaScript. Usually people don't have any knowledge much on components in JavaScript, how to create a component in JavaScript. But I will show you in later level how to create a component using JavaScript, I will tell you. And I will show you the difference, how JavaScript can create components, how React can create components. Then you will understand that React is more easier in designing components. That is why people are preferring React for building UI. JavaScript also can have components, but it's a lengthy process to create a component, configure it, add this to the pages. So we can easily do that by using the approach of React. We will see how we can manage that. So the point is everything is component based. Everything is component based. That means it is having all components. So it contains lot of components here. Now remember, what is the specialty of modern application is user can request any component directly. User can request any component directly. That is one great advantage of the modern applications. That means, for example, when you are watching Amazon, in Amazon, I want mobiles. Then you don't need to search or do something. In the URL, you can just type. In the URL, you can just type after Amazon /mobiles. You can just type /mobiles after this and hit enter. Directly, you can see that when you enter, directly mobile search will open. That means in mobiles category, directly this mobile search is opening. That means it directly opens a mobile component. Okay, I will try another. Suppose I will write here electronics. Directly electronics category will come. These are electronics. Directly electronic category is coming. You see the category electronics is expanded here. Okay, I will search for something else here. Suppose fashion and enter. You can see directly fashion comes here. Suppose I am searching here. I am searching /login. Login, and you see there is no login. There is no login. There is login. Then why it says there is no login? Why it says there is no login? There is login. Then why it is saying that there is no login? You are looking, we are sorry, we can't deliver you this. Why? Because usually when an application is having components, so they have a table. This application usually have a table. This table is called as, we call this as routing table. This will have a routing table. What this routing table contains is, this routing table contains information about what are the components this application can deliver to client. That means how this application can accept request and how it can respond. That means this table contains information about requests and response. What requests it can accept? Will it accept every request? No, it will not accept every request. They have certain requests. That means it will usually have a path and it will usually have a component. That means if the path is slash mobiles, then it is going to deliver which component? Mobiles component it will deliver. If the path is some shop, then it will open the shopping component, something like this. This table contains information about what your application is able to serve. That means what is the requests allowed, what are the requests allowed, and what are the responses it can give. This table is a virtual table. That means physically you will not see a table. This is created by developer by using, because table means it's like a collection. Collection means array of path and components and all. Now what happens is whenever you make a request, suppose user made a request like slash mobiles, am I right? When made a request, that request comes first to which location? Web server. In the web server, the request will be processed in which location? It is processed in HTTP processing pipeline. And in the pipeline, who is going to manage that request? Handler. A handler is responsible for managing the request. And what it will do is, this handler will take help of, this handler is going to take help of an engine. It is going to take help of an engine. And actually, this engine is called routing engine. It is going to take help of this routing engine. And what this routing engine will do, it will verify whether that requested path is available in this table or not. If the requested path is available in that table or not. So if the requested path is available in the table, then what it will do? It will load that component. It will load that component into memory. It will load that component into memory. It will load the component into memory. That means it will load that into your application. After loading that, then what it will do is it will send a response to that. And this response comes to the routing engine, which will collect the response and send it to handler. Handler will send this to client. And if anything is not available, then this routing engine will return status codes like 404. 404 is the status code which indicates that not found, right? You know, different types of request methods will be there. It will return. So actually we have 300 status codes, 400 status codes, 500 status codes, 100 status codes, so many. So this is the outline flow. Very high level this is. High level means outline. Low level means in-depth. In-depth we will see later, right? First you need to understand this flow. That means how it is going to manage and handle all the situation, right? How it is going to manage. I hope you are clear in this. Everyone understood, right? The flow, how it is going to handle. So everyone understood this flow? Is it clear? Right? So the request comes to web server. The request in web server is handled by handler. Handler will take help of what? Routing engine. Routing engine will verify whether the requested path is there in that application to serve you or not. If it is there, then it is going to load and display. This is the first level. Okay, let me save this for you. I will upload this into Classroom. So I will save this for you as React. Yeah, this is flow 1. That is flow 1 PNG. I will upload into class. Okay. Okay. Now, up to this, what you understood, you will learn more in depth about that, how it works in routing table, routing engine later. Now, A React application is designed with what? A collection of components. Entire React application is designed with collection of components. Now the question is how these components are going to deliver. That means how they come, how they are presented on the page. That means inside the application, how it works. The flow we will see now. Okay. So I will explain the second level. First level you understood how it request happens, how the response goes, right? Now let's go to the next level. That means we will go to the next level. So the next level is in React application, how everything works, right? See, actually you created a React application yesterday. I will show you that how it looks like. See, we have a React application. This is a React application. Generally, in the React application, you have some resources, and this is the browser. So you have the browser. This is browser. You can have any browser. So what is the final point is this application have to load on browser. So that means it should show you some content on browser. So in this React application, see, what happens is this React application have a folder called public. In this public folder, there will be a file index.html. Index.html. Whenever anybody requests our application in the browser, whenever anybody requests our application, yesterday you saw it was localhost and port number was how much? 3000. When anybody requests our application, somebody is requesting our application from browser, then the first page that loads in the browser is actually index page. That means the page which is present in this public folder, it is going to display here. That means that is the first one. Actually, in this index page, interestingly, you will see lot of design, but this index page contains only a div with ID as root. It contains only a div with ID as root. Nothing else. But you will see lot of design. That means I will show you. Let's open our project now. We will go to Visual Studio Code. Yesterday we created a project. Now we will open that project folder. Open folder. And the folder is in D drive. I created a React shopping and select the folder. And you can see this is the folder we are having. Now, once the folder is there, everything is ready. Right. Now we will start this. You see the part I will show you now. First, you can see here, there is public folder. In the public folder, there is index.html. As I told you that public contains all static resources, JPG files and others, everything are kept in this public folder. Okay, now it is index.html. Open index.html and observe carefully index.html. It is a simple head section. It is a simple head section with some links it is having, logos or something it is having. And in the body section, there is only a div, nothing else. In the body section, no script is there. Already we learned previously, no script is to verify whether JavaScript enabled or not. Why? Because if JavaScript is not enabled, React will not work. And see, there is only a div. There is only a div, nothing else inside. That means index page is having an empty div. Okay, let's run this project now. How to run? npm start. I am from the terminal. I am running npm start. I am executing npm start. So we will run npm start. So once you see that, the information that is displayed in the page, this is the page you can see, so much is coming. Actually, the page you are currently watching, the page currently you are watching is a index.html page. You are watching index.html page, but in that you saw a small div is there. Only one div is there. How come a div can have all these things? That means what is happening now is how this is coming. I will tell you the scenario. Actually, we have an SRC folder. In this SRC folder, all the components are present. React application is a collection of components. All the components are present here. That means you will have a component called app. The components are designed by using JavaScript. Means actually React uses JavaScript extension. We will learn what is that JavaScript extension, but the file name can be JSX or it can be JS. Both refers to JavaScript, extension of JavaScript. I will tell you what is JavaScript extension. It can have, means as of now it is having app component, and later everything can be here. That means it can have a home.js, it can have a login.js, it can have a register.js, register.js, it can have some header.js, it can have like banner dot or say carousel.js, like that you can have so many. All the components are present in which folder? They are all present in folder. Which folder? SRC. Now what is happening in your React application is any one of this component is rendering here. That means what a component actually contains. So what a component contains, actually every component, I will show this is component. Every component comprises of, it contains markup, it contains markup, it contains styles, it contains logic, it contains logic. Every component, detailedly we are going to learn about components. We have a separate session on that. I'm explaining only flow. Don't worry about what is component, how it is created and all. That's all next level, we will see. I'm explaining flow, just understand the flow. So usually component is a combination of markup. Markup is nothing but design, and it has some styles and it has some logic. That means some functionality. I hope you know Bootstrap components. Like we have a component called model. Model means it will pop up. That means it have a design, it have a functionality, it have styles. Carousel is a component which will have sliding automatically, slides after few seconds. You will have previous button, next button, all these things. Now important here, the component is designed with markup, it is designed with styles, and it is designed with functionality. This component is going to render. It is going to render. In which location it is going to render? It is going to render in this root. That means actually currently in your React application, only app component is present. In your React application, when you create a React application, by default, which component is present? App. And this app component is going to render and display on the screen. It is going to render and display on the screen. So whatever output you are currently watching in index is actually coming from where? It is actually coming from which component? App. This component is rendered in which page? Index. Remember, your entire application contains only one page. Only one page. What is that page? Index.html. And in that page, everything will come. That means user will stay on only one page and he can access everything on that page. Earlier, you need to design login.html, register.html, and header HTML like that. Now you can design components and you can render everything in on page. That is the reason the way how you use it is like a single page application. It's a single page application. Single page application means user will stay on only one page and he can access everything onto that page. That means user will stay on only one page. Usually traditional web applications, how they work, user will navigate from one page to another. You are in home page, click on login, you will be navigated to login. Now tell me, in general web designing, without navigating to login, how to bring the login and show in the home page? In general web designing, without navigating from home to login, how to bring the login and display in home? You can do that by using Ajax. By using Ajax. That means you can implement Ajax. Or in general HTML, you have a concept of iframe. You know iframes? You can embed any content and display inside the page from external source. You can put it, right? But that is not great for every time, because any page you need to bring, then you will not put by iframe. Actually, you do that by using Ajax. By using lot of Ajax, we have to bring the content of another page and display in the current page. But React is internally using Ajax everywhere. That means everywhere React is using Ajax. It is implementing Ajax in every place. So we request a index page, but whatever the output you see in that index page, that output is coming from which location? App.js. This contains the functionality. That means design and functionality. So whatever currently you are watching on screen, this result of this screen is coming from app.js. It is present in which folder? SRC. You see, that is what they are saying. They say that edit app.js if you want to change this, because that is the screen actually coming from there. Now, actually, how app.js information is coming there, how it is coming. Actually, there are two techniques. Two techniques means generally what we do is, I showed you already previously. Previously is React up to 18. React up to 18 version, we use a method React DOM dot render. React DOM dot render. What we render is up to 18. What we render is we render a component. Which component we render? App. We render a app component. App component is accessed like a tag token. We render an app component, that is app component. Where we are rendering this component, we have to render this app component in the div. How to access the div? Div have an ID na? What is it? Document dot get by ID. I'm just giving short, right? Get by ID. What is the ID? Root. You know, get element by ID and all you have to write. So you are accessing by ID and you are rendering that here. This is how it is happening up to this. That means now what happens is whatever component is there, that component is going to render, it is going to render its output in which location? Div. That means it is going to render that output inside the div. Actually, what is this React DOM dot render? This React DOM dot render is not adding any element directly to DOM. It is adding the element, this app component is not added directly to DOM. It is added to whom? This app component is added to virtual DOM. React DOM dot render is going to add this to virtual DOM, not actual DOM. That means in the page you may see div, but in the memory there will be a virtual DOM. In that virtual DOM it is adding. That means I will tell you more professionally here how it works. It is not going to render directly here. It is not going to render directly here. Let me expand this, right? It is not directly going to render here. What happens is your browser is going to maintain the memory. In this memory, what it is going to do, it is going to use an what? Virtual DOM. In this virtual DOM, you will see there is a div again here. This div have an ID. ID as what? Root. Now what this React is doing is it is rendering into this virtual DOM. It is rendering into this virtual DOM. That means into the virtual DOM, it is rendering the app component. So directly this is not rendered here. I will remove this part so that you can understand. I hope you are clear. It is not directly rendering. That means it is not directly rendering here. It is not directly rendering. What is happening? This app.js is coming here. The app.js is coming here and it is rendering into virtual DOM. Am I right? After rendering into virtual DOM, this virtual DOM will later update into actual DOM. It is going to later actually update into the actual DOM. This is the process actually happening in your React application. That means this is going to render and display like this. So whenever you request a React application, what is the page that loads? Index. After loading, two DOMs are maintained. One is actual DOM, another one virtual DOM. Do you know actual DOM methods? Actual DOM methods means any element if you want to add to actual DOM, it's a lengthy process. It's a different process actually. How? I will show you. Suppose if you learned your JavaScript and HTML, I will show a simple one. That means if you have learned JavaScript and HTML, I will show a simple process here. Temporarily, I'm adding demo.html page just to show you. Do you know in your JavaScript and HTML, suppose there is a div, the ID is root. Into that div, I want to add a button. I want to add a button. Then usually what we do, body on load, we have to write what? Body load. And on body load, we have to create a function. That means we have to write a function. What is the function? Body load. And this body load, we will create a button. And by using document.createElement, the button element. After creating the button, for button, we will put an inner HTML as register because it's a HTML5 button. And after that, document.getElement by ID root, into that append child, we have to add the button. And you can see that now this is going to add a button in your page. When I run this, it will have a button. But there is no button in the page. Statically, there is no button designed. But how you are getting this button? This is what React happening. This is what React is doing. That means you don't have a button. Then how button is coming? You don't have a button, then how button is coming? That means you are dynamically creating and you are dynamically adding. This is what React is doing. And it's not just button, you can add anything. That means you can add anything into that. For example, I'm just adding a button here. I'm just adding a button. For example, I'm just using here. So where I will create another div, document dot create element div. And the div have inner HTML. Here in this div, we can create a simple heading, say user login, and close the heading. You have a data list, data term, user ID, data term. We have a data definition, and you have like input type is equal to text, something I'm defining here, and data definition, data term, what password, and data term. This is your general HTML. So you have input type is password, and you have a data list close, and you have a button here. Let's put a button, and the button is having login. This is entire design. And what we have to do is this must be added to root. That means document dot get element by ID, what it is, root. Into that append child, which one? Div. Into that I am adding the div. I am adding this div into that, and you can see that that is what it is having. So you have a login screen, but there is no login at all. In the page, there is only div. This is a general thing. That means it is not a new concept. It is already there. But React simplify this. What React, Angular are doing, they are not inventing some new concepts. They are after all JavaScript libraries. They are after all JavaScript libraries. Without them also we can do that. But it takes time. It's very lengthy. There are so many issues in that. That's the reason we are going with this. That means this is not a great thing for an experienced developer because they already know this. They already know how to design components. They already know how to add the components. React will teach you this in a very simple way. That means React allows you to design such things in a very simplified way, right? Now this is, now you know how to write a button click event. You have options like event listeners. You have to add event listeners in JavaScript. Through that, you need to configure and define that. You need to use the event listeners, configure the event listeners and manage them. That's what we need to do, right? So just forget all this concept, what I written. You don't need to worry about what I written. I just showed you how actually it works. That means I hope you understood the process. That means actually what is app component contains? App component contains a design. And that design, logic, styles, and functionality are rendered into which location? Virtual DOM. And this virtual DOM is going to handle everything. So I will save this one. See, this we are doing up to which version? This we are doing up to React 18. From React 18 onwards, it changed a little bit. That means the way of creating virtual DOM, adding items into virtual DOM, it is changed from React 18 and higher version. Up to React 18, which method is used? React DOM.render. That is the method used. In the latest versions, we are doing like this. So React 18 and higher version, we are doing like this. React 18 and higher versions. First, what we do is we have to create a root. We have to create a root. How to create a root? Create a root means virtual root. What is the virtual root for us? The div is virtual root. That means this div is used as virtual root. It is used as virtual root. So how do we do that? By using a create root method. We have a create root method. This will create a virtual root. Which one be used as virtual root? you have to access that element and use it. So document dot get element by ID. Which one? The root. The root one will be used here. This is what? That means the div is considered as root. The div is considered as root. That means we have to create a root. After creating the root, what we need to do? So into the root, we need to render. This is the root created. Into the root, we need to render. That means we are using, what is it? Root dot what? Render. So root dot render. And into that, what to be rendered? We have to render app component. That app component is rendered into the root. Earlier, we used to directly render the app component into this root by using which method? Render. But now in the latest version, first we have to create a root by using which one? Create root. By using create root, you have to create a root. After creating the root, you have to render that root. You have to render the root. That process I will show you how it is going to work. We will see that now, right? Now, this is the latest version. This is the latest version. Now, how a component is designed also I will show you. That is the flow. Now, flow understood everybody? What is the flow? You request a React application in browser. First, it is going to load which page? Index.html. In index.html, whatever the screen that you are watching is coming from which component? It is coming from app component. There is an app component and that app component is going to return. That app component is going to return and it is going to use here. And remember, how it is going to return, I will tell you. This is flow 2, second flow. Now there is some more in-depth point here. There is some more in-depth concept here. That means this is second level. Let's go to the third level. Third level, I will show you here how more concept works inside. Means it's not done. Actually, some more is there. You are watching in the browser. So this is the browser. You are watching in the browser. Okay. In the browser, you are requesting something. What you are requesting? http://localhost. And localhost and it is port number is 3000. And I told you that it is rendering by default, it is requesting which page? Index.html. It is going to get you the index.html page. Now, the index.html page have to load a component. Which component it should load? App component it has to load. That means now, just in the previous, I written this flow. How to render this, I showed you in the flow 2. All right, open. Yeah. In the flow 2, you can see that here I showed you this is the code which is going to collect the component and it is going to render the component. It is going to render the component. Now the question here is, I will copy this code now. I will copy this code. This is the latest React code. Now this is the code which is going to render. It is the code which is going to render the information into the div which is present inside it. What is the div ID? Root. That is the div ID. This is the code which is going to render. Now where this code is present? This is not component code. Component code is coming from, component code is present somewhere. That means here there is another file. What is this file? app.js. In app.js, you have app component related design. This is being collected and rendered here. Now the question is, where is this code then? This code is present in a file called index.js. It is present in index.js. This index.js is also present in same SRC folder. In SRC folder, you have two files, one index.js, another one app.js. App.js is your component. Index.js is going to import the component and it is going to use. Do you know what happens? We are here, we import. You know, JavaScript module system uses import. It imports app component. It imports app component from that app.js file. It will import the app component from that app.js file. After importing, this logic is going to render that. That means this logic is going to render the app component. And this index.js is connected to index.html. Index.js is connected to index.html. But visually, you will never see a link for index.js in index.html, but it will be working. How index.js is working for index.html, that's what Webpack is doing. What Webpack is doing, it is bundling, it is binding this file to index.html. So when you request a React application, index.html will load. The logic for index.html will come from index.js, and the component what you want to use in your project, that is all defined in which location? Component, app.js. That means accessing the component and rendering the component. This is done by which file? Index.js. Actually, people also call this as, you can write as main.js also. Some projects we write main. You know the meaning of main? What is the meaning of main? What is the meaning of main in computer programming? In computer programming, C, C++, all these have main method. Na? Main means entry point. That is the entry point. So your application starts with this one. Actually, when we finally publish our website, there will be main.js. There will not be index.js. In design, application starts with which one? Index.js. In production, application starts with main.js, because production servers looks for entry point using a word called main. While designing, you can keep anything you want. Usually for production, it will be main.js, but it depends. You can change the names. You can put any name, because configuration is in our hands. But we follow certain traditions while configuring and all, right? This is the process how it is going to work. So the design is present in app.js and it is presented in index.html, but importing the design and rendering into Virtual DOM, this is all managed by which file? Index.js. Index.js. It imports the design, it renders the design into index.html. That means index.html logic is coming from index.js, and you will never see that connection. Why? Because that is defined in the startup. You can observe interestingly here. There is a package JSON file now. You can go to package JSON file. This is the package JSON file. In this, all the options are configured. All the options are configured. Later, you will see more details. That means Webpack and all these options. This is a React related package JSON. I will show you another one. You remembered we created web application. Manually we created na package JSON. We manually created a package JSON. I will show you that. This is the package JSON already available. We created a package JSON by name web application. E drive web application. Yeah. You see here, we have a package JSON file. Here we are having a package JSON file. This package JSON file is having some logic. That means it is having some logic and everything is package JSON. Yeah. And you see main is index.js. Main is index.js. Main means entry point. That means it will start with index.js. If you have index.js, it will be considered as entry point. At production level, the direct main word is used actually, right? But this is the second thing you need to understand, how the flow is going to work. That means you have the design in which location? Design is present in app component. By default, it is the component which is available in our React. Like that, you can create your own components. I will show you how we create our own components. We will see. By default, one component is there. What is that component? App.js. Now this component is collected and it is rendered into virtual DOM by which one? Index.js. Index.js. You can see that. Let's go to index.js. In SRC, index.js, you will see index.js is importing app. After importing app, you see it is creating a root. Root. Which one is used as root? The div is used as root. Div ID is root. And you see it is rendering that app. What is the strict mode and other things I will tell you. Means other hierarchy, what is present in that file, that is not required now for us. Later I will explain what is every line of that. We will discuss about them. As of now, you need to understand the app component contains design, which is imported in index and it is rendered in index.html. It is rendered in index.html because this element is present. This element is present in index.html. But you observe carefully, index.html in public index.html don't have any script link or anything. It is not having any script link for index.js. Then how it is linked and it is working? That is because of Webpack configuration. In Webpack configuration, we will mention from where to pick up the files, which one to start with, everything we define. That you are going to learn towards the end. Okay. So this is the next important concept. I hope you understood this also. This is flow 3. I hope you are clear with this, the environment, what React is having, right? So the design, whatever you see on screen is actually coming from which location? It is coming from which location? App component. App component have app.js, app.js. Now the question is how this component is designed. If I tell you basic one, tomorrow we will discuss detail, complete about components. That is the main concept of React actually. Basic I will tell you. Basic is nothing but, as of now you should know that. That means what is a component actually? Technically speaking, a component is nothing but, generally, when you design a web component, actually a component can be created in JavaScript. A component can be created using JavaScript. Actually, the component can be a function or a component can be a class. That means in JavaScript, a component can be a function or a class. What is difference? I will tell you what is difference between function and class. That is the major concept here. Means remember, component related topic we will discuss in a new session. Separately we will start, because that is the major thing you need to understand. There you will understand all the mechanisms. What is a component technically? Technically, component is a function or it is a class. You can create components using JavaScript functions or JavaScript classes. So very important is there are certain rules also I will tell you. As per the basic rule of any component, component function must return, it must return some markup. You know how to write a function to return numbers, to return string. You know how a function returns values. You write function name, and what it will do, it will have a return. What it is going to return, a number, or it can return a string or anything. You know JavaScript functions now, right? How a function can return something. So it can use this basic syntax. But as per the rules of markup, that means as per the rules of component, a component should render some markup. It should render some markup. Let's do one thing now. What I will do is, let's go. Where is the component? App.js is the component. I will go to app.js. You see, it is a function. App.js is a function. It is a simple function. And what I will do is, I will do one thing. I will clean up this one. That means I will remove all this, whatever written inside it. Whatever written inside it, I will remove, right? This is a function. And I hope you already know that after writing a function or a class in a separate JavaScript file, you cannot directly access. You have to export in module system, JavaScript module system. If you are not aware of JavaScript module system, first in tomorrow's session, I will take a JavaScript module system introduction session. I will give you a complete basic overview of module system in JavaScript. Then we will start designing, working with React. Because if you are not good in JavaScript module system, you can never handle this React. So what I will do is, I hope you don't have any objection in that, right? Because if you already aware, it saves my time, because I don't need to explain you modules and all. If you are not aware, then I will explain a session about module systems. Then we will use that in our project. Is it okay? Right? Then we will first discuss about module systems in JavaScript, and then we will work with this. Now, as of now, this function is returning some string. Welcome to React shopping app. Like this we design. It is returning a string, and I will save this now. When I save this, you see the output of our page. The output says that. That's what app component is there. That means it is returning that. That means it is just returning a string. Every component can return anything. For example, I am trying to return this. I am trying to return this as a heading style. Welcome to React. And I will give some attributes like what align. Align is what? Center, like this. I'm adding some options for that. And you see it's not working. Because a function can return a string, but it cannot return a markup as string. Because string means string. It is RC data type. It is not any markup. Then if you want it to return a markup, then you have to just enclose this in a parenthesis. That means it should return this markup. If you enclose this in a parenthesis, then it will think that it is a markup. Then markup, it will print that markup also. But here, still that markup is not ready. Why? Because return cannot directly return the markup. It has to render the markup. Return has to render the markup. It should render the markup. That means it should use another method inside, because remember, return is just returning a string, but it should not return a string. It should return some markup. It should return some markup. How it can return some markup? Generally, it can return the markup by using some render methods. We will have rendering methods. We will see that. That next level I will explain. Don't worry about that. As of now, you can simply write a method. And here you can see I'm adding, suppose welcome. welcome. As of now, just render some string and you will see that it is going to render that welcome. How to create a component with markup, functionality and all, that's a lengthy concept. We will see next level. Suppose if anybody asks like, here, can I render any number? Suppose you are rendering a number 200 and you see that it is rendering it. Suppose I'm expecting this app to have a plus a comma b, 2 parameters, and it is returning. So a plus b, it is returning a plus b. Then you need to pass some parameter into it. It is returning an object which should return a and b values. Such all things you will see later. Actually, these are called parameters, means properties. We call them as component properties. How do we design component properties? This is very in-depth concept, not required as of now. So simple, you go to the app.js. What you have to do, you have to write a function. What is the name of the function? App. What it should return? It should return some welcome to React shopping, like this app. That's what we are returning, and it is going to return that and display. This is the basic thing you need to understand, the flow, how actually everything works. I hope you are clear. Right now, we need to learn how to design a component with complete functionality. That means design, functionality, styles, how to create professional components and work with them. That we'll see in next session. Tomorrow we will do that. So tomorrow concept is very important. Before going into the concept of components, first tomorrow I will take a session on JavaScript modules. Once we know about JavaScript modules, then we can implement that in our application. That we are going to see in the next session. Tomorrow we'll continue with that. Okay. I hope you are clear with this. Right. Tomorrow we'll continue. Right. Thank you. Yep. Online people have any doubts? You can unmute yourself if you have any doubts.
Hello, sir. Good evening. I'm bringing this side. Sir, when I was installing this Create React app, right? I was doing this React app with the React shopping. It was showing me installing React DOM with the CRA template. What is the CRA template? Hello.
Yes.
Sir, I have posted my question in the chat as well.
What is the question?
I'm just referring to the CRA template.
What is your issue?
When I was doing this NPX Create React app and React shopping, then it was showing me this message that it is installing that React DOM and scripts with CRA template. So
you are
what is the CRA template? Is it a new thing or something?
Learn about it later. When I tell you about Webpack, you will understand.
Okay, sir. Okay. Yeah,
right.
Got it. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Hello, sir. This is Anand.
Yes, Anand.
Sir, I have one question related to course. With the React, are we going to use the TypeScript or
both? With JavaScript and with TypeScript.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, sir. So during project, we are going to use backend also, right?
We are going to use, we are not going to teach,
Okay.
right?
Hmm.
Because to use, you should have good knowledge on backend first, right? I will give an introduction for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in this React, we are going to cover like how to call API, how to get the data.
That is very basic thing every React developer have to learn. Right? That obviously we will do.
And I'm having another question. We having bubble.minimum.js, okay? And like that, we having the react.min.js and react.min.js, right?
If you are aware of JavaScript and CSS, you have a
Hmm.
concept called minification.
Mhm.
Do you have any awareness on that?
Note on this topic. No.
You don't know this. Minification, you don't know CSS, JavaScript minification. Minification is the process of compressing the code, which every front-end developer basically knows.
Mhm.
The original files are used in designing, the minified files are used in production.
Okay. Mhm.
When you learn basic of JavaScript, you learn how to minify JavaScript,
Mhm.
right? That is the general JavaScript minification concept.
But we are using a minified file only for
See,
bubble.
I already told you that if you know about them, unminified files are used in designing, minified files are used in production.
Okay, compile.
Right?
Hello.
Okay.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hi, sir.
Yes.
I didn't attend yesterday class. How can I get the videos or something?
So yesterday's class videos, Google Classroom code is there. You can get it from there.
Sir, I don't have Google Class. Code.
Our admin has sent in the chat box. Once check, these YouTube videos are there previously.
Okay.
Have you
Okay,
seen
sir.
the chat box? In that already previous videos are sent.
Yes. Four of the videos.
Right?
Yes.
You can find the previous one.
The Google Class code also there.
That is a QR code you have to scan.
Okay.
Right? A QR code is there, you have to scan.
Sir, when today's class will be posted?
Tomorrow. And regularly videos are not posted. Only for demos, videos are posted.
So tomorrow
Okay, sir.
also demo is going to happen.
See, it is not like demo separate and continue separate. We continue this session. We will stop the people who haven't registered from regular session. That's only the point. It's not like demo separate and again register separate. You are continuing this.
Okay.
Right? After few days, people who are not registered, they will be stopped. That's it. Right? Other will continue.
Hi, sir. I didn't attend the starting class. I have some question about certification. Are you provided?
Certification is provided by institute that tells that course completed.
After completion of code.
Right.
What is the timeline of this code?
This is 45 sessions.
45 session. Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
Excuse me, sir. Related questions regarding the course. Should I reach out to the admin or I can ask now?
Related to course means what?
Course
Content
means
or fee or other details.
Means
If
where I
if
get
it is
for
fee
normal
and
classes.
fee videos and other details, you contact admin.
Okay, sure.
Right?
It's regarding the videos only.
Regarding videos and all, you can contact admin. Right.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi sir, this is Suresh.
Yes, Suresh.
Actually, for running this React.js application, what are the required softwares to install in our system?
Node.js, Visual Studio Code. Yesterday, I explained the process actually.
Okay.
If you missed it, you can watch the videos.
Okay.
The process is defined there.
Sir, and one more thing, like for this React.js learning, so what are the basic things actually? So
HTML, CSS, JavaScript. You need to be perfect in these three things.
Okay.
That is enough for handling React.
Okay. Oh,
Right.
okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
So like when I was searching this command on Google, right? So in Google, I'm getting NPX create next step. But
Uh-huh.
we,
I already told you, there are so many bundlers, there are so many tools, there are so many ways of creating an application. We are using one approach,
oh,
right?
mhm.
Right.
So this approach is being used in industry also, right? In
Of course,
okay.
if it is not used, why it will be there, right?
Mhm.
Right. And every industry, every project will not use the same approach. It will be changed.
Mhm. Okay.
Sir, one more question. This is Suresh. That is actually, what is the difference between this Angular and React? So why these are two different
Yeah,
shapes?
I think you missed the demo session. We have
Okay.
complete session on that topic only. What is Angular? What is React?
Okay.
In the demo videos, you can go through.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Right? Complete session is about difference between them.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Thanks.
You have still any doubt after watching that, then you can get back to me.
Yeah, sure, sure, sure.
Yeah, yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I'm having experience of HTML developer.
Ah.
And I took a break of 3 years.
Hmm.
Like I started learning React from this batch.
Ah.
Like how the like if I go for some interview for any job trials and all, like how it will be.
No problem. You can just keep that previous experience, but even you have a break at startup level companies, they don't worry about this break that you are having. If you have an experience in previous web designing and you are good in React, many companies are not concerned about the gap you are having.
Okay.
Right? Then you have a lot of opportunities.
Then like how like can I catch up these classes and I can like pick up with these classes
Yes.
or need to go
Yeah,
through.
with whatever you learn in this class, that is enough, more than enough to handle any level of interview on React.
Okay.
So then with that, you can go as a React developer,
Yeah.
right?
Actually, you told right we should have strong in JavaScript and all. Like I took a break, right? Like that's the reason why I'm asking.
Means you are not aware of JavaScript. Huh?
Like I am aware, but I'm not like conceptual wise. Like it's like we are using templates and all, right, for developing.
That's fine. But you can brush up the skills of JavaScript easily once you are aware of that. Right.
Oh.
Anyhow, here we will be using different concepts of JavaScript. Whenever we are into that concept, I will explain that concept and enter into it. So it will not be an issue.
Okay, fine. Sir.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
But we are going to cover advanced JavaScript, right?
Of course, JavaScript is JavaScript. There is nothing like advanced JavaScript. Right? If you learned everything in JavaScript, it has both. Right?
Okay.
You have all advanced features of ES6 and all. Huh?
Yeah. And yeah, like after this course competition, I think we can go for the interview like with 3 to 4 year experience. By
Yes,
putting.
no issue. You can handle any level of interviews.
Okay. Yes. Thank
Right. Yeah.
Hi, sir.
Yes.
Both class components and functional components.
We will have a separate discussion on components. So don't get into those as of now. Huh? Once
Yeah. But actually, I heard that class component is bit. I mean, it is a.
Of course, we will learn.
Yeah.
That is the part here, right? We will learn all details. What is the drawbacks? What are the features? Why and when to use them? And all those you are going to learn. Huh?
Okay, sir.
Right? Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, like you told, like in React, like we'll be installing like our CDN links of third-party libraries, right?
Mm-hmm.
In index page itself, we will be linking those.
In index page, we have to import the component which we want to render in index.html.
Okay, then in component, like individual component space, we will be linking the serial links of third party
Yes.
libraries.
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay, fine. I thought of like in index page itself, like we'll be linking
Ah,
all those libraries. So it
we-
will conflict from one component to another component, right?
We will
That's-
create a navigation using routing system
Okay.
that allows you to access any component and render, right?
Okay. Then see, for example, like in two components, we are using same third party library. Then where we will be placing of this?
You will learn. There are so much concept. You are going to see all those. You are directly diving deep into the concept without basically learning them. You will understand, no problem.
Okay.
Once you start about components, that's what you are going to learn.
Okay. Then see, I have a bit experience of ROR, like Ruby on Rails. Like that will be different from this React, right? Or similar?
Because in Ruby, you will be using a lot of scaffoldings.
Yeah.
Right. So here, majority, you will be using everything from the basic level of creating by yourself, implementing third-party components and all.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sir, I have one doubt.
Yeah.
Sir, I have been graduated in 2020 and I have a gap of 3 years in which
Yeah.
I have experience of 6 months as HTML, CSS and JavaScript developer. And I wanted to upgrade to React. That is why I'm learning this course. Will I be able to get job opportunities through this like this?
Of course. These days you have a lot of opportunities, even you have very much gap in your work, professional, anything, education doesn't matter. Because these days we have large requirement of front-end developers.
Okay.
And at medium, small scale, every company doesn't cares about how much gap or percentage you are having.
Okay.
Right.
Hi, sir.
So,
Yes.
sir, the React scope will be there like another 10 years, right?
We can't give a guarantee, right? We can't give a guarantee, right? So any technology may be very fast in occupying, just like you have seen ChatGPT, right? We can't give a guarantee that it will be for 10 years or something.
Hi, sir. I said this at Priyaranjan.
Yes, Priyaranjan.
Sir, I have one query actually. When I'm started learning, due to some lack of money, I just buy Bangaraju sir .NET notes. Okay, that note should be like my friend's note. I just read it and I got a job.
Okay, good, great then, right?
So
you're doing a good job.
So and I am following you also with your Node React JS and UI development. But I just know right now I am 1.5 months ago. Actually, I'm my job already. I'm in job also. So I just have one query just because of I need to reskilled myself. So I'm trying to like connect with you through JS or UI. So I have query. So is it like if I'm in future, if I'm trying to rechange, so with including this skill, it's like UI development or front-end development kind of things, if I'll put my resume, so I'll make as per my experience to what I got in the before, or I'll make it different one.
You don't need to make a different one because already you are having .NET as experience. You can extend to that. .NET with React, it is good, right?
Okay.
Right. You don't need to make a separate profile for that.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sir, by default, we having this file like index.html and
because we created using a Webpack which generates a template which already gives everything for us.
So like they are self-understanding through the Webpack only, like how they are.
Once you start learning about Webpack, you can design everything by yourself.
Okay.
Then you will get a clarity on all the concept.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. Okay, then tomorrow we will continue. Thank you very much. So online people, we will take doubts from the offline people. Right. Thank you.